Okay, so like I said, in your book on page 54 and 55, we have where it talks about something called floor area ratio, which determines how large we can make our building. So even though our lot is 250 by 200, right? If we built up to those very lines, and I pulled up my calculator, right? If I had a floor area ratio of 2 and I took 250 times 200, that gives me 50,000 square feet, right? If I multiply that by 2, that gives me what? 100,000 square feet. So in theory, right, if my floor area ratio is 2, I can build a whole 100,000 square feet. Well, how big is our building? Well, it is right now, if we look at our 3D view and we look at our datums, we have a ground floor, first floor, second floor, and third floor, right? The roof doesn't count as buildable area, right? Because it's outside. And that bottom of footing doesn't count. So if we take 1, 2, 3, we have 4 floors of buildable area. If I zoom in here and I click on my floor plate, right? You see how that goes all around the building, that generic slab? And I look over here, it tells me that it's how many square feet. Can we find out what the square footage is? The square footage is of this? It says it's 7,060 square feet. So if we take 7,060 square feet and multiply that by 4, that says we're only building to 28,240 square feet. So we're golden there, are we not? I'm going to pause the video for a moment so we can talk about some. So what we talked about is that if we only build to the setbacks, our floor area ratio is 2, right? And we're only going to build, though, to our setbacks. We know that 28,240 is the maximum square footage at this point we're going to have. And we're well far away from 100,000. So let's see how many floors our building can be in this instance. I'm going to drop a dimension on here. That's 215 feet. That's 155 feet. If we take on our calculator and use 215 feet and multiply that by 155 feet, that gives us 33,325. So our floor area ratio that we did before was to our outside property lines, but in truth, we're only building possibly to our setbacks. So for that reason, we'll take this number and multiply it by 2, and we end up with 66,650 square feet. So that's our actual maximum square footage that we can have in this instance, yet we're still well below that. So I'm going to pause the video one more time and we're going to discuss some of it. Okay, people, so we kind of had a discussion. Now we'll get this down on tape. What did we actually do in this instance to determine how many floors our floor area ratio allows us, right? We took what our floor area ratio to the property lines was, which was 100,000. And what we did by multiplying 215 to one of our east-west setbacks times 155, that gave us 33,325. So if we take 100,000 and we divide by 33,325, that gives us 3, almost on the dot, right? Which means in our case, if we look at our 3D view, we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 floors to this building. Based on that, we are over what we are allowed based on our floor area ratio. What we would have to do would be to apply for an allowance, which fortunately for you, the building and zoning and person is going to allow you to have in this instance. But I just wanted you to see that there are regulations, and we talked about during the discussion that regulation could be because of blocking out light, the proximity of lots next to you, and also the capabilities of the firefighting equipment of a municipality, a city, or a village. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop this video, and the next time we get in, we're going to talk about steel in our elevator shaft, and also where else we might need some steel in this building in our next lecture.